Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha rejected proposals by the Competency-Based Curriculum Task Force to abolish boarding schools in Kenya. According to the team, boarding schools were to be left for a few institutions to admit learners across the country who wanted to pursue various pathways in senior secondary.
Almost all primary schools that are public are day school. Are we together? So if there are few boarding schools, they are not an issue that should bother us, because our denominator is the child. And before we do anything, we have to consider what is going to happen to the child. For example, you may find that there are our diplomats abroad who have decided to leave their children in primary school in Kenya. If there is a boarding school catering for them, it will not be wise for us to have a policy framework which says you abolish all of it.
The government, which has considered abolishing boarding schools for learners in primary and proposed junior secondary schools under the competence-based curriculum, says it is one way to reduce the burden of school fees on parents and allow them to be present in their upbringing.
I think every situation will be looked at on its own merit. And even if you look at the boarding schools at high school level, there is no plan to abolish them now. There is thinking in that direction, but it will have to be a gradual process. Yeah. A gradual process as we implement the CBC. Some of them may still survive, but going further, perhaps if we are going to start new schools, they may just be day schools.
While speaking during a meeting in Mombasa County, Magoha also ruled out the possibility of shutting down schools in the wake of the surge of the COVID-19 in 13 counties. Meanwhile, the government has disbursed 76.5 billion shillings capitation funds for public primary and secondary schools ahead of commencement of the new academic year.
The government has now given all the money that was required, over close to 17 billion for the primary school sector and 59.5 billion for the secondary school sector for the year 2020. We are going to continue to mop every child that did KCPE and take the child to Form 1. In addition, we shall mop up any other child who was out of school and take to the appropriate level of schooling that the child wants.
Magoha has cautioned school heads against overcharging parents, warning that they will be dealt with severely should they do so.
They have no reason to surcharge any child, and we shall be very, very firm in our actions. If you find that you are surcharging a child, for example, I found yesterday there's a school that is asking a child to pay 11,000 shillings for lunch in a primary school. That is horrendous, and we are going to deal with it.
All the learners will open schools for Term 1 under the 2021 academic year starting July the 26th. The 10 weeks term will end on 10th October. The government has encouraged parents to take their children to school come Monday for the first term, assuring that the government will have disbursed the money to the institutions by then. Reporting for Ebru TV, my name is Lucy Riley.